Okay, Scott, do you want to go next? Scott needs very little introduction, I don't think. He's been Mr. UBI in the US for quite a while and talking about the future of work and various other issues around basic income.
So is this connected? Is this on?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, so I find myself being invited to a bunch of panels all over the place now about the future of work. And it's funny, I feel that a lot of questions aren't being asked about what that even means. I think that there's a whole lot of assumptions going on without really reimagining what work is, what we're even talking about. So I really want to ask some questions and get us to really question some of our assumptions. So first, when we're talking about the future of work, it's like we need to be thinking about there's like parentheses there that says the future of paid and unpaid work. So we don't really think about work as the form of unpaid work, and that's a problem, I think. I think that we synonymously combine jobs and work as the same thing. And I think that's a problem. Even like the way that we talk about it, we say like we went to work instead of like we went to a job. So like we were just talking about, say, with care work, isn't it interesting how, say, you can go to work if you leave your kid at home as a parent, and then someone else comes in to take care of your kid, and that's called work, but you went to work, and if you would have stayed to watch your own kid, that would not be considered work, when obviously it is work. So we need to really question, when we're talking about the future of work, that there's more to work than employment. Jobs are a subset of work. And you can even create subsets out of jobs where you've got meaningful jobs and meaningless jobs. And I find that so a lot of these kind of panels that I'm going to, it's like people are talking about with great consternation, without saying it, of the future of meaningless jobs. I think that's part of the problem here, is that we're really concerned about what's going to happen to all these jobs that may be entirely meaningless. I mean, worldwide, only 15% of employees all over the world are actually engaged by their work. In the US, it's a third. So there's a whole lot of people doing stuff that they just don't care about. So and then another part of this question of the future of work, there's a time component. Imagine like a subscript beneath work, where we're assuming, I feel, that 40 hours is this handed down on stone kind of time where you just, you work 40 hours per week. That's what a job is. And it's funny, if you go back in time a bit, you can actually see some great quotes from people when normal was 60 hours per week. And one of the quotes I liked was that referring to people who wanted to work 5 days a week instead of a 6-day week, was that they should be ashamed as like lazy mollycoddles. And I feel that we need to have that time component back in the conversation. Here we are, we're worried about, say, half of our jobs being automated, and it doesn't make that much sense. If half of our work can be automated, then why would we have a situation where half of us are unemployed instead of everyone working half as much and everyone having just as much employment to go around? So I think we need to get back to that and really talk about the time component and say, why are we working 40 hours a week? Why is that normal? Let's go to a 4-day work week. Let's look at 6-hour days. Let's look at 6 months on, 6 months off, a year here and there at a time instead of all like 20 years worth of work. I think another question to ask too is, when we're talking about the future of work, thinking about like the past of work. What did work used to be like? Say like pre-Taylorism, pre the invention of cutting stuff up into tasks. People used to be more holistic. You could have like a shoemaker who made a whole shoe. And now we're at the point where you just chop it up into tasks, and you'd say you were working in a factory making shoes and you're just doing one little thing. and now robots are doing that. And I think we're going to be able to get back to this kind of older thinking of work where it's actually, you can create whole things, and that's more engaging. You care more about that. And I think another component too is not only thinking about the future of work, but thinking about the future of consumption that doesn't really, it's not really talked about as much. Like if you read a great essay from Bertrand Russell called In Praise of Idleness, it's like we're talking about like the future of bread making without even thinking about the future of eating bread. It's like, why are we making all this stuff if we're not if there's no value in actually enjoying it? You know, we need time to actually enjoy this stuff, and there is value in actually enjoying this stuff. You know, it's amazing how people make fun of the idea of a bunch of people, say, using their time and their basic income to play games. And it's like, there's a whole lot of work involved in making these games. So what's the point of it all if we can't play them? So I think that part of that too is thinking about leisure and play and actually questioning if we're, instead of just thinking about work as a way of earning income, it's a way of you know, creating purpose and meaning with each other and actually doing things for each other that are important. So it's those kind of questions that I want us to ask, and hopefully we can get into that a little bit today too, as we think about the future of work, to really just question all these assumptions.